So begin this morning in a child's pose. So come to your mat, let your knees go wide. And today, if you want, I will show you a little shoulder opener. So just keep in mind that if your forehead doesn't comfortably rest on the ground, you can always slide a block underneath the forehead. If it does, then that's fine. So with the arms this morning, if you have this range of motion, it's a little shoulder opener. You're going to kind of reverse prayer and walk the elbows in so you get just a nice stretch through the under armpit, the traps, the triceps. If it doesn't feel comfortable for you, of course, just take the way that works the best in your body. Just as we move through the practices week after week, I always like to offer little subtle changes and options so you can play. We never want to get stale. Just connect to your breath. So wherever you are in your child's pose, just breathe in and exhale out all the junk. Let your lower back spread across the top of the feet. Lengthen from your lower spine all the way through the crown of the head. And as you move through this morning's practice, just remind yourself that there's nowhere that you're really going in these poses, right? There's nowhere you have to be. So literally you have to feel your way through each pose and decide how much or how little you want to give. If the arms are in this little reverse prayer, just extend them forward and start to crawl the hands a little bit more far forward. Activate the hands a little bit more into the mat. And then with that, you'll get a nice lift of your forearms coming up off the ground. Rock forward to a tabletop position, curl the toes into the mat. Stack it up here for cat and cow, just keeping it basic. Sink the spine down and look forward. And then round and hollow out your abdominal wall and look in. And just go like this for a few cycles, sinking the spine down and looking forward. Just make it feel good. Exhale, rounding and looking in. Again, feel as you sink the spine down and look forward. And exhale, rounding and looking in. Come to a flat back tabletop position. Walk your hands a little further forward. And I like to take the mat a little bit wider with the index fingers turned a tiny bit and then lift up to your first dog. And when you come up to this down dog, bend your knees a lot. Okay, bend your knees a lot. So it's almost like half bent legs, down dog. Spread your toes across the mat and then keep your right leg bent and just start to like you're pressing on a gas pedal. Begin to straighten your left leg as much as it's going to go. And if the heel comes nowhere near the ground, that's fine. Good. And then rebend and then start to straighten like you're stepping on a gas pedal with your right leg. So it's almost like you're walking the dog in slow motion. And then go again, just move slow and feel the center of your heel as it melts, and then bend and feel your hips lift a little higher. And just go one more time on each side. And then when you find neutral, maybe finding that your legs are a little straighter, or maybe your knees need to bend a lot today. But breathe your hips way up off your shoulders. Plug the hands down into the mat. Feel your shoulders move away from your ears. And if you feel like you're all over the place, no, join the party, right? Just kind of go with it. Roll forward to plank. You want to lead with your chest in this plank position. And when you come from your dog to your first plank, you may find that you need to walk it out a little. It's always not, 100% accurate. Yep. Lead with your heart and chest is a really big cue because it's going to take you out of your upper spine and begin to really open up, creating that straight line of energy from the crown of the head to your heels and from your heels to the crown of the head, right? If it just feels too aggressive, know the modification. Always drop your knees, give yourself support. Good. Sometimes we need a lot more support than we think we do. Or sometimes we just know we need support and that's okay. So just support the posture the best that you know how. Hug into the center line of the body so you could really feel that core beginning to activate. Keep your arms straight. Your knees may need to bend, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Good. And then roll forward again to a plank. Activate here. Drop your knees so they're on an angle. I personally like keeping my toes curled into the mat, but you can have your tops of your feet down as well. Pick what works. Halfway to a supported push-up. If you're nursing any injuries in your shoulder, your elbow, your wrist, just do less. Re-straighten your arms to supported plank. Lift your knees so you're in plank position. Hips up and back, down dog. Roll forward, one more modification together, plank position. Drop your knees on an angle. So once again, you can always just stay in this supported plank and just really engage. Halfway to a push-up that works. Re-straighten your arms to supported plank position. Lift the knees so you're in plank. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. So breathe your right leg up and back to a three-legged down dog, and do this so your hips stay nice and even. Come forward and hug your right knee in and up, squeeze the core. Good. Extend the right leg up and back to a three-legged down dog. You want to feel like you're moving a little bit through slow motion. Come forward and hug the right knee in and up. Again, extend the right leg, press. Come forward and hug in. Step the right foot forward and through. If it wasn't so graceful, take your time to get that foot forward and through and just be here for a moment. Be on your fingertips. Good. So you may need to put blocks underneath your hands like I'm demonstrating here. This is okay. You could cup the mat. You can cup the blocks. So you're going to inhale, create a little up dog with your upper shoulder blades, like a small movement here. You're going to exhale, start to straighten your right leg. My leg is not going nearly straight, so you're just going to scoop out. It's like a cat and cow and round over, but don't step your back foot in. You're staying high on the ball of that back foot. So rebend and open up the heart and chest a little. You're going to exhale, start to straighten the leg, hug the hips, and round in. Just do the best you can. Sink the spine down and look forward. Create a little up dog. Do it slow. Exhale, round, scoop out, look in. Rebend the leg, right. Take the hands down and step to a dog. Now roll forward to plank, halfway to a push-up. Re-straighten and visit plank position, hips up and back, down dog. The left leg lifts, you just want to breathe it up and back and try and keep everything really even. Good. Come forward and hug your left knee in and up, scoop up the belly. Arms are straight up and down. Extend the leg up and back, press. Come forward and hug in. Yeah. One more, extend the leg up and back, press. Come forward and hug in. Land the left foot forward and through. Just pause for a sec and feel the back leg going strong and straight. Feel the heaviness of that left foot. And then decide, like maybe you need the blocks. I know for myself, the blocks are helpful. Do it so they line up with your toes. Yeah, and you can kind of claw that mat. You can fist the mat. You can go high on the block. Right. So you're going to inhale, sink the spine down and look forward a little. Create a little squeezing of the shoulder blades. You're going to exhale, round, straighten the leg and scoop out and look in. So on your breath, you're going to sink the spine down, bend into the front thigh, look forward. Keep the back leg strong. Round and look in. Don't step the foot in. You're high on the ball of that back foot. Bend the left leg, sink the spine down and look forward. Round and look in. Scoop up the belly. Rebend the left thigh. This time move the blocks out of the way. Step your right foot forward. Long spine on the inhale. I have my feet about hips width distance here. Exhale, fold into yourself. So do that again. Inhale, long spine. Your hands can also rest on your shins like I'm demonstrating here. This is a great way to take this. Exhale, fold, let your head go. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Arms go straight up towards the sky, look up. Dive over, bend knees, let your head go. Come to the fingertips and prepare yourself. Step to plank. So just step, plank, even if you're feeling really bouncy. Lower halfway to a push-up that feels good for you. Less is more. Up dog or cobra, pick what feels the best. Press even through your hands, the tops of the feet. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Arms stay as straight as you can. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top of the mat. Get there nice and light. Long spine, keep your weight forward. Exhale, fold into yourself to try and let your head go. Root to rise, come all the way up. Anchor, go big. Drag it to prayer at heart and drop your arms. Arms go straight up towards the sky. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Long spine to prepare, step, step, or float through your variation of a vinyasa. So you can take or subtract out anything, add in or subtract out anything that you feel you need or don't need. Press even through your hands, activate the sides of the arms, look where you want to land, step or float, top of mat, get there nice and light. Long spine, keep your weight forward, exhale, fold again. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag the hands to prayer at heart, drop your arms. Again, you guys look really excited. Arms go straight up towards the sky, dive over bent knees, forward fold. I also see random body parts. Long spine to prepare, step or float through a vinyasa. It's a whole new world of teaching yoga. It's like you get someone's left knee, the right armpit, up dog pulls you through, hips up and back, downward facing dog. We never think this would work back like 15 years ago. It's amazing. Look where you want to go. Keep it moving, guys. Step or float, top of mat. Long spine, keep your weight forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up, go big. Drag it to prayer at heart, drop your arms. One more. Arms go straight up, just keep it moving. Dive in half over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Long spine to prepare yourself, step or float through your vinyasa. Upward facing pulls you through. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Just roll forward to plank position. Take your right knee a little to the left, just like a tiny bit over to the left. And then slide your right foot back without your hips moving to a plank. So just a little warm up here. Left knee across. Don't go slow, slide it back to plank without your hips moving. Right knee across your body, small movement. Right leg back. Left knee across your body. Keep the spine long. Left leg back. Right knee across, squeeze the abdominal wall. Right leg back. Left knee across the body, squeeze it in. Left leg back, plank, halfway to a push-up. Up dog or cobra, pause. Recurl the toes, rebend the elbows for a chaturanga push-up. Plank position, hips up and back down dog. If you missed it, it's okay. Look where you want to go, step or float, top of mat. Long spine, keep your weight forward, exhale, fold. So set up your blocks, guys, take them in front for me. Come to the fingertips, long spine, and just create a nice extension here, and that's why the blocks are helpful, okay? Guide your left leg back, big step. Big step, yeah. Activate your right hip. Bring your arms alongside your body, so you're just hovering over your front thigh. Always keep in mind, if something doesn't feel good, you can drop your back knee and support this. This is a great way to take this pose, and it's always available, okay? Good. Root to rise, crescent lunge. Good. The trick with crescent lunge is you want your hip points to be forward. Arms activate up towards the sky. And let's make that little reverse prayer behind our head, so it's like little bunny ears. Yeah. Sides of the ribs lift. Belly draws in, you're heavy in that standing front thigh. Your back leg can have as much bend as you need it to, so you can find this lunge. And your neck is neutral, and just pause. Grip the right hip in, scissor the inner and outer thighs together. Keeping the shape as it is, just extend the arms straight up towards the sky like you're holding a block in between your hands, regular crescent lunge. Hands to frame the front foot. Spring to the top of the mat. Find extension on the long spine. This is why the blocks are here and they're great. Step the right leg back, nice big step. Just be here for a sec, feel your way through. Notice if you need to drop your knee, and then reach your arms alongside your body with your palms facing down. Squeeze the shoulder blades, integrate the left hip, activate your back leg. Find kind of your balance, and then rise on your breath, crescent lunge. So once you come up here, kind of iron out your stance. Hip points move forward, back leg super engaged, front leg has a deep bend. And then you could bunny those ears again. Drop the hands down the back, point the elbows towards the sky, keep the neck nice and neutral. If you do this and you notice everything kind of jutting forward and you're dumping into your low back, draw the navel to the back of the spine, point your elbows straight up towards the sky, and keep your neck very neutral. And then just breathe. I think it rains every Wednesday here. Yeah, I'm starting to pick up on the New Jersey weather patterns. Good. Extend the arms straight up like you're holding a block in between your hands. Feel. Hands to frame the floor or the blocks. The blocks are helpful. Spring to the top. Find the extension, long, long spine. Don't fold into yourself. Just keep that real length. Guide your left leg back. Big step with your left leg. You're in that same lunge. Now, turn the right foot on a strong angle. As soon as I did that, my right hip, I felt it pop out. So you got to hug your right hip in. Turn the back foot on a strong, strong angle. It's almost completely forward. And then reach your arms alongside your body. So you're hovering again. So the whole left side of the body is pivoted forward. And then root to rise, first warrior. In today's warrior one, yep, hands can come to a prayer over the top of the head, only if that feels good in your shoulders. If it doesn't, just take it normal. Spin the left ribs forward. Sit a little bit more into that front right thigh. And you can look up a little without the neck dropping back. Another big breath in, stay with it. Hands to frame the front foot. First, let the left heel pop up so you can just spring the left foot forward. Find a lot of really good extension. Keep your feet hips width distance. Guide the right leg, big step back. Pause. Grip the left hip in. I know this is hard for a lot of us. Turn the back foot on a strong angle. Notice that that hip probably popped out, so tuck it under. Spin the right ribs down forward. Reach your arms alongside your body. Find a hovering warrior one. So feel the strength of your legs. That back leg kind of trumps the pose. And then rise on your breath, first warrior. Hands can come to a prayer, kind of like up towards the sky, but not straight up. It's a little bit off center. Yeah, I pitch forward a little, my warrior one. I find that it takes me out of my low back. You can play with that. Right. Kind of fun to find how the poses really do work for each independent bodies. So be okay with, like, you know, not being straight up and down, being a little forward. Take another big breath, stay with it. Hands to frame your front foot. This time you're going to step to a dog. Just step right back, down dog. In this down dog, roll forward plank, lower halfway to a push-up. Pull yourself through an up dog or cobra, depending how your back feels. Hips up and back, down dog. From the back of the mat, step your right foot forward, turn your back foot strong, come up warrior one. See if it feels any different. Hands to the ground, through a vinyasa or right to a down dog. You pick your poison. The left foot lands on your breath. We're all a little different. So warrior one left side, right rib spin enough forward that everything is pivoted forward. Hands come down, chaturanga. Up dog opens you. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. So in down dog now, you have to collect yourself. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Good work. Look where you want to go. Step or float, top of mat. Long spine, keep your weight forward. Exhale, fold. Sit into your first chair pose. And I've been taking chair now for a while with my feet a little separated. I find it much easier on the lower back. So they can be about hips width distance. Your arms are moving up. Now, when I say that, they can be open at any amount that feels good, right? Stick your butt way back though. Feel the weight in your heels and then use that energy to shoot up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer. So here we are at the top of the mat and we're going to put together sun bees together. Arms go straight up towards the sky. Heavy in your heels for chair. Stick your butt back. Dive over, bent legs, forward fold. Let your head go. Long spine sets you up. Step, or float through your variation of vinyasa. You can take them out completely. You can add in an extra if you need it. The right foot lands, the back foot turns. Rise on your breath. warrior one. Hands come back down to the ground through a vinyasa, upward facing point, hips up and back, downward facing. The left foot lands, the back foot turns, rise, warrior one. Hands come back down through a vinyasa. Up dog pulls you through, hips up and back, meet me in a downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, take a full breath out. Look where you want to go, step or float, top of mat. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Sit into chair, weight moves into your heels. Press up to stand up. Drag it to prayer, drop your arms. From the top, arms go straight up towards the sky. Sit heavy in your heels for chair. So in this chair, guys, adding in an optional, you don't have to do it. Sit into Boat Navasana. Yeah. So I keep my legs bent so I could really work on keeping my spine long and being in the deeper part of my core, not my lower back. Yeah. So really open up that chest. Now, the most challenging way to take this pose is to have your arms straight up towards the sky. So you can play with that. You could also go the opposite way and have your hands down if you need to brace the floor. Okay. Stay for an extra breath. Cross the ankles. You can step, you can float, you can crawl back. The up dog is smooth, hips up and back, down dog. The right foot lands, the back foot turns. Now we're just moving and grooving. Rise, warrior one. Back down we go. Keep it methodical. Up dog, hips up and back, down dog. The left foot lands, turn the back foot strong. Rise, come on up, warrior one. Back down we go. Chaturanga, upward facing. Hips up and back, downward facing. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. One more. Look where you want to go. Step or float, top of mat. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Chair, weight in your heels. Take that energy, shoot up to stand up. Drag it to prayer. So from the top, one more. Arms go up, heavy in your heels for chair. Sit deep into Boat Navasana. So you just kind of make it like one piece. Yeah, arms straight up is going to be the most intense, but just be mindful that you're not dumping into your low back. Yeah. Let's add in an Ardha Navasana, so a low hover, shoulders lift, up off the mat, arms can be forward, they can be up, they can be back, they can be on the ground. Pull it back up to a Navasana boat pose using all your abdominal wall strength. Opposite ankle cross, step or float through a vinyasa. The up dog is smooth, hips up and back, down dog. The right foot lands, the back foot turns, rise, warrior one. Back down we go, through a vinyasa. From your down dog, when you're ready, the left foot lands, the back foot turns, rise, warrior one. Back down we go, through a vinyasa. The up dog is smooth, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Good. Look where you want to land. Step or float, top of mat. Get there nice and light. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Sit into chair, weight moves into your heels. Drag your hands to prayer. Inhale your breath. You're going to hook the elbow and take it to the right. I'm going to take our chair twist here. So if you're choosing not to hook, you can just stay a little bit more upright and air twist. What's important is that your feet, your shins, your knees, everything stays nice and aligned. Looking sideways, looking up. Open up your arms if you want a little more, or just stay. Keep the weight in the heels. Keep the shins moving back. Keep the breath flowing. Heavy in your heels, pull around to chair. Recommit. Drag the hands back to prayer. Inhale the breath, hook and take it to the left. Watch the knees. The most important part is the alignment, not how far, how deep, or how fancy you're making this pose. Keep it basic. Weight stays in your heels, looking sideways or looking up. Spin the chest. Stay even in those legs. Pull around to chair. Sit a little deeper in chair. Shoot up to stand up. Drag it to prayer. Drop your arms. Standing on your right leg at the top of the mat. Definitely have your blocks nearby. You're going to probably need them. Standing on your right leg, take your left leg up into a tree. Okay? Take your left leg up into a tree. Your foot can be anywhere along the instep of that leg. Just make sure it's not pressing against the instep of the knee, okay? Hands to prayer. Sometimes you just got to keep your hands in prayer and really find your balance and focus. If you feel you can move on, you can grow the branches of your tree. Fix your eyes, hug your hips in. Stay with it. If you fall, you get back in. Not a problem. Focus on hugging both your hips down and under. Wiggle the ribs a little higher, extend the arms up a little bit more. Slow transitions today, guys. We're gonna move with ease. Left hand's gonna come to your hip, okay? Focus on that right leg. You're gonna start to reach out. And as gracefully as you can, half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. The block is there on the floor. Your left hand is on your hip. You're balancing on your right leg. Yeah. And when you transition from a pose like that into half moon, the idea is that it's going to challenge your balance. So if you fall out, you just try it again. Yep. Good. Keeping your right foot forward is the goal. Hugging your right hip in, and then spreading open if you can. Lift from your inner thigh. Look sideways, look up only if you can. Really nice, guys. Add in anything you feel is working for you today. If that's a bind, if that's just working on balance or softening the lightness of the pose, you got a few more breaths, make it work. If you bound yourself up, release to a regular Ardha, and just keep in mind, we're taking slow transitions today. So stepping back to warrior two, nice and easy. Take your time. Nice, big, juicy stance. If you get into it and you're all over the place, take the opportunity to reset. Make sure your right foot intersects your back left foot. Your back left foot's on a little bit of an angle, and you can sit even in between your two legs. Lengthen the tailbone, spread the arms, close your eyes. Side ribs nice and long, neck nice and neutral, and just be present here, breathe. Wrap your inner right thigh open and sit a little deeper. And every exhale breath, see if you can sit a little bit deeper. Couple more. Strong lower half. Flip the palm, reverse the warrior. So the lower half of the body stays active, and you just flip the palm and you take it up and back. Come back through warrior two, reach out, slide your right hand to the outside of the right foot. Block, super useful. Any height that works for you. Arm to top of thigh is a nice exception. Yeah. Make a connection with the outside of the right leg, inside of right arm. Left arm straight up, or it can wrap up and forward. If you're wrapping up and forward with the left arm, baby finger points towards the ground. That's the direction of the arm, moving in the right direction. Strong angle from the outer blade of the left foot all the way through the left fingertips. It's like a bow and arrow. Grip the right hip in, turn the bottom ribs, look sideways or look up. And then breathe. And like anything, that right hip wants to pop out, so hug it under. Soften the right shoulder a little wherever you are. Couple more breaths. Doing great. So transitioning out today, eyes go to the floor, hands come down to frame your front foot. You're in a low lunge. You're gonna take your right foot, walk it a little to the right. Left palm's gonna come flat. You're gonna roll onto the blade of your left foot and work into Vashisthasana with a tree pose, which is side plank. So any variation of side plank. I went into side plank with a tree. This is totally optional. Let's see how you're all doing. You can modify with your bottom knee down. You can stagger your feet. So the right foot would be in front of the left foot in that variation. Yeah, nice, Andy. Stay with it. Lift from your bottom hip through your top hip. Yeah. Nice, Kate. Plank position slow. So don't just flop out of it. So many times I see that. Halfway to a push-up, up dog or cobra, hips up and back, down dog. Look where you want to go, step or float, top of mat, get there light. Long spine weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer, drop your arms. Have your blocks nearby. Good, guide your right leg up into a tree pose. We start pretty basic and then the sequence grows. So just do your best. Place the foot anywhere along the instep of the left leg that's comfortable, except to the instep of the knee. Drag the hands to prayer. Once you find your focus and balance, sweep your arms up towards the sky. Side ribs nice and long. Grip the bottom hips in. Yeah. And then fix your eyes. Drishti point, focal point. Feel your breath, just kind of moving through your body. Good. Keep the lower half of the body like it is in the tree. Bring your right hand to your hip. Start to reach out with your left hand, slide it to the block and open up into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Keeping your left foot forward, stack it open. Yes. So if you need to reset, you reset. The left foot forward, grip the bottom hip in, and lift from your inner right thigh. Spread the collarbone, spread the chest. Add in whatever you feel is desirable in this pose. If it's softening behind the standing leg and getting lighter in the bottom hand, go with that. If it's adding in a bind, give that a whirl. Just stay with the posture, stay with your breath, and keep your thoughts on the mat. If you added any fancy business, just find your way to the regular half moon. Transitioning slow, you're going to take a giant step back, warrior two. Yeah, warrior two. And take a second to check in with the alignment. Sometimes when we step back into the poses, we're all over the mat, which is fine. So left foot and right arch, make a connection that they're going to intersect. Inner left thigh wraps open. And always reminding you that you should be able to drop straight down. Well, that's the goal. Side body long, and then spread your arms open. And then allow yourself to close your eyes because we're holding here for a few really good breaths. And it's good to just kind of go inward a little, if you can. How can you soften but be active in the pose? It is possible. That's why we call them moving meditation. Wrap your inner left thigh open. Find a little bit more space. Sit deeper. Keep the lower half of the body engaged. Flip the palm, just reverse. Soft, subtle, reverse warrior. Nothing crazy. You'll come back through warrior two and you're going to find that reach out, really reach, and then slide the hand anywhere along the outside of that left foot. I'm going with a block today and I'm actually going to fist the block. Yeah. Arm can also rest on the top of the thigh. This is a great alternative. The right arm straight up. Awesome. Hand can also be on your hip. So many great ways to take these poses. Don't feel overwhelmed. Top arm stretching up and forward. Yeah, or straight up. The goal is just to keep the energy moving. That's it. Okay, and keep the breath going. Grip the bottom hip in, turn your left ribs towards the sky. And then settle in here. Make sure you're not clenching your feet, clenching your face, holding your breath. Like all those things start to happen sometimes. Anchor that right foot more. And as we hold, sometimes challenges come up. So just breathe through them. On the next exhale breath, look to the floor. Bring the right hand down. The right heel is going to peel up. Okay, so you're in a low lunge. The right palm will go flat. And then from here, we'll roll into our Vashisthasana side plank. I'm going to add the tree pose and then open it up. So Vashisthasana, your favorite one, option to go into a tree pose here is a cool thing. Or modify it and be able to hold it is even cooler. Yeah. It used to be cool to do all the fancy poses, like all the hard poses. Now it's cool to be able to hold the pose, like really hold the pose and keep it basic. 2 more breaths. Plank position, don't flop to the ground, do it slow. Adding your push-up, I know you can, upward facing. Hips up and back, downward facing. So don't fall apart now. Look to the top of the mat, step or float your feet there. However you like to get there, arrive. Long spine weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer at heart, drop your arms. Have your blocks at the top of the mat. You'll definitely need them. Stand on your right leg again. Right leg is the balancing leg. Okay, hug your left knee in, give it a good solid squeeze and stand up tall. Some days this is the posture. Be okay with this. This is working on balance. This is working on strength, stability, focus. Okay, if you'd like to move on, your hand's going to come to the outside of that left thigh and your right arm will peel back. We're setting up for dancing Shiva. If you have the hamstring and the lower back flexibility to go into this, you're going to extend that left leg forward by grabbing the outer blade of that left foot. This is optional. Stand up nice and tall, breathing that left arm back and looking sideways. And in this case, in this pose, working on looking back. If you fall, restart again from the beginning, not from where you fell. So grabbing the outside of the thigh is an awesome alternative. Stay upright. So keep the lift of your left leg. Try not to let it drop at all. Pull around to center. Arms go straight up towards the sky just for a beat to reset. Keep the left leg lifted in a 90-degree angle. Drag the hands to a prayer at heart. Begin to feed your left leg back and through for a warrior 3. I suggested blocks to be down here for a reason. If you get here and you're like, okay, my balance is just not with me today, rest the fingertips to the blocks and don't sweat it. If you have the balance, your hands can stay in prayer. Gripping the right hip in. Good. The heart lifting a little higher, the left leg active. Look to the floor, left hand coming down to the ground, to the block, most likely right hand to the flat part of the back. Revolve Ardha Chandrasana, revolved half moon. The right hand on the flat part of the back, the left hand on a block underneath your left shoulder. I have my block on the highest setting. Yes. You can point your left toes. Sometimes that gives you a little bit more bandwidth. If you're really not feeling this today, right hand can come down. You can just stay in like a warrior 3. Good. Keep everything really lifted though. Looking sideways, looking up, maybe peeling your right arm open towards the sky. Hug those inner and outer thighs together and twist a little deeper. Another big breath in. Right hand to the floor. Left foot meets top of mat, hips width distance. Fold over the legs, let the head go. Good. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer. Drop your arms. Stand on your left leg. Hug your right knee in, give it a good squeeze. The balance on this side for me is like totally crazy. Hug it in, stand up really tall. That's why the exercise of just standing up sometimes and hugging the leg in. I mean, how many times do you do this in the course of the day? It's not like you're standing up in the middle of the supermarket or in the middle of your office and hugging your leg in. So just doing this is helpful. Reach to the outer part of that thigh and peel your right arm back. Reach for the outer blade of the foot if you have the flexibility, and the leg that's moving forward can have as much bend as you need. The leg that you're balancing on has to be sturdy and straight. Peel the right arm back, look sideways, and start to look back. Stand up a little taller, twist a little bigger, a little bolder, a little deeper. Stay with it. Pull around to center, but keep the arms up for a second to reset. The right leg is lifted at a 90-degree angle. You're standing tall on that left leg. Hands come to prayer. Pause. Feed the right leg back and through. Do it slow, warrior 3. Hands can stay in prayer, arms can come alongside the body, but warrior 3 is what we're going for. If you need the blocks, utilize them. The heart lifts a little higher. There's a little softening behind the standing leg, and your whole body is facing towards the ground. That's the direction. Right, so there's no open hips, everything's squared off. Eyes go to the floor, right hand reaches for that block, set up nicely underneath that shoulder, left hand to this flat part of your back, and we revolve into the twisting Ardha Chandrasana. Inner thigh scissor together. If your back leg, the hamstring is super tight, point the toes. Try that. Squeeze and lift from your inner thighs. Open up your top arm if you have the range of motion, or just stay with the hand on the lower back. Twist. Good. 2 more. We're gonna do a little different. Left hand to the floor, giant step back with your right leg. So your left leg is forward and your right leg is back. Yeah, sometimes I like to change directions a little. Yeah, straighten your left leg and start to pivot. If you know you need blocks because you take easy twists for twisting for a crescent lunge with a twist, just bring it with you. But pivot around, and now you're facing the back skinny edge of the mat. And all that you did is just switch directions. Now the right leg is forward, the left leg is engaged. Rise on your breath, crescent lunge. Drag the hands to prayer. Inhale, lean out, hook the elbow and twist. You can drop the back knee. You can modify with your hand down to the instep of the foot. Do you want to look sideways or look up? Try not to look back in this pose. That has a tendency of rounding us. So grip the right hip in, activate that left leg and twist open. Open up your arms. Do anything you feel you need here to really maximize the pose. Sometimes it's nice to fist the palm into the bottom flat hand. Good, breathe and twist open a little bit deeper. One more big breath in. Hands to frame the front foot, pause, do this slow. So straighten the leg and start to pivot, pivot down the center. Before we go to the left side, come to the fingertips along spine, exhale, fold straight down the center. You can have chaturanga-like arms in between those feet. You can hook onto the sides of the shins and pull, opening the elbows. You can hook onto the big toes. You can rest your hands on a block. So definitely bend your knees, Kate, more. Yeah. Yeah. And if your head hits the ground in this pose, that just tells you that your stance needs to be a little smaller. So for years, everyone talked about like going up into inversions, which is great. And they're great for you at times in your life, but this is an inversion, just so you know. Your head is dropping below your heart. So there's a shift of energy, of mood, of blood flow. Right, you don't have to get your feet up off the ground to get that. It's like, I wish someone told me this 20 years ago. Breathe. So wherever you are, fingertips to the ground, long spine. So focus on extension, create the space. And then start to walk your left hands around towards the left foot. So just change direction back to the front skinny edge of the mat. Activate your back leg. Rise when you're ready, high lunge, crescent lunge. Left side. Drag your hands to prayer. Inhale your breath. I always lean forward a little and then hook. And this gives you the indication, like, do I have it in me today to get that elbow to hook? If you do, then kind of rest it to the outside of that leg. If you don't, just stay air twisting or hand to the instep of that foot. Good. Back knee can always drop. So the trick here is that we want a long spine. Look sideways, look up, try not to look back. Scissor the inner thighs and twist a little bigger, a little bolder, and a little deeper. 2 more. It gets good at the end. It gets juicy, a little saucy. Eyes to the floor, hands to frame your front foot. Deliberate movement back to plank. Halfway to a push-up, keep it together. Up dog or cobra, peel yourself through. Hips up and back, down dog. Guide your right knee forward. Go into a half pigeon here. It's gonna feel good. Yeah, half pigeon. And then fold. Time always flies when you have fun. Let your head go. And this is where a lot of times, because when you practice at home, you start to get distracted. You start to look for your phone. Right, I think I'll go to the bathroom. Let's just stay with it for a few more minutes and we'll be good to go. Let's give it 5 more breaths. I'm going to do a little different back bend here. So let's bring our torso up, okay? And swing your left leg forward like a tree pose, okay? Left leg is forward, you're like a tree. Right hand behind you. I think most of you know this pose. It's called sail pose. The right hand comes behind you and always check that the crease of the wrist faces the back of the mat, okay? Then you're gonna lift yourself up into this nice back bend. The right knee is down and ideally your left foot can go flat. If that doesn't work today, don't force it. Left arm up and back. Press down and lift a little higher. Exhale your breath, come out with slow control and lower down. When you lower down, so I want you to bring your arms up and steer the right side of your body forward and now fold over your left leg. And if you can't get hold of your left foot like this, just rest the hands down and fold here. Flex the foot. If this is super easy for you, take a block to the base of the foot and see if this gives you a little bit more of a hamstring stretch. Keep taking the right side of your body towards the left. Yeah. Good. Come up to center. Swing your right knee forward. Take your left foot around for a seated spine twist. Just make sure you're not sitting on your right foot. I like hugging my left leg in because this stretches the piriformis. Left hand to the small part of your back close to you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, look over the shoulder and twist. And if you're looking for a little more, reach down and grab the blade of your left foot with your right hand and extend the leg forward for a hamstring IT band release. This is optional. Sit up nice and tall. You can peel the left arm off the mat towards the back skinny edge of the mat to make it a little more challenging. Once again, just giving options. Don't feel you need to go there. Release the hand down first, rebend the leg next, come back to neutral. To get out of this pose today, we're gonna unravel, bend the legs like this, release the hands behind you, exhale the breath, reverse tabletop. Look down the small line of the front line of the body and make sure it's not so sad. Press even through your feet. I keep my neck very neutral here. Lift a little higher. Exhale the breath, lower the butt down, cross the ankles, step to a dog. If you feel you need to move through a vinyasa, please add that in now, optional. And then slide the left knee forward for a half pigeon. Left side, here we go. Let yourself just melt in the half pigeon. Sometimes it's nice to use the blocks because you can rest your forearms on the blocks and you can kind of relax the shoulders a little more. Yeah. Don't be afraid to play with the poses a little bit. Yeah, if you always do it the same way, sometimes it's nice to just elevate it a little, tweak it a little. Five more breaths. Let's enjoy. Start to come up, use the strength of your body. Let's lean onto the left side and sweep the right leg around now for a little tree. So the right leg is out, the left leg is bent. Left hand behind you at the small of your back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, press up into sail pose. The right foot can go flush to the ground if you have that. Top arm reaches straight up or straight up towards the sky. This is like a version of a back bend, side planky. I like the feeling. Press a little more and lift a little higher. Exhale the breath, start to come down. Exit with control. When you hit the floor, turn the whole left side of your body towards that right thigh. Reach up and come forward for separate leg stretching and fold. If you can't reach your foot, don't worry about it. Just drape the arms alongside the leg. If you're looking for a little more, kind of shove the block to the base of the foot and see if this gives you a little bit more of a hamstring release. Sometimes it creates a little bit more of a lift of the chest, actually, gets you out of your lower back. Keep taking your left side of the body kind of to the right. Yeah. Come up nice and slow. And as you come forward, just bring your left knee forward, bend your right leg in half, seated spine twist. Make sure you're not sitting on your left foot. Right hand to the small of your back. Give your left leg a hug or kind of shove the elbow to the side of that thigh. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, look over the shoulder and twist. If you're looking for more, grab the side of your right foot and extend the leg forward. Inhale, lengthen, breathe into the hamstring, the IT band. The right arm can peel to the back edge of the mat. You can kind of float it up. Sit up nice and tall and twist a little bit deeper. Right hand to the ground first, lower the right foot next, come around to center and counter stretch. Unravel the legs, reverse tabletop. Exhale the breath, lift up from the lower back all the way to the back side of your knees, creating space. Press even through your hands. Feel your outer triceps lengthen and hug in and press a little higher. Lift one more inch. Exhale the breath, lower down. When you hit the floor, Baddha Konasana. So Baddha Konasana, which is kind of a hip opener, can be taken several different ways. You can make it a little bigger and you can kind of feed your arms under your legs and grab the base of your feet. You could also take it a little tighter. I'm showing you both here. And so if your back is super sensitive, it's almost better sometimes just to like really work on the inner thigh and the groin and kind of draw the legs in and just work on sitting up nice and tall. You can also sit on a block. I just elevated myself and it actually feels kind of nice to do it this way. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Good, and then let that go and just lower down. I just wanted you to take legs up the wall. So what I want you to do is lay down, bring the block with you. If you're near a wall, you can obviously just go sideways and bring the legs up. But if you're not, just lift up like you're going to bridge and pick a direction for the block. This is low, medium, or high is going to be the most intense. Place it underneath the small of that back. Once it goes under there, lift the legs up. And we'll just be here for about 30 to 60 seconds. So if you can, we're going to slide right into Shavasana after this. So see if you can start to just let your mind, your breath, your body start to transfer toward that. And when the legs are up, guys, you can have a soft bend behind your knees. Bend the legs, take the feet back to the floor. Try and keep your eyes closed. Once the feet hit the ground, remove the block out from underneath you. Slowly lower your lower back down and just hug your knees in towards your chest here. Give them a tight squeeze. And then extend the legs out and the arms out and slide into Shavasana. Just go complete rest. We did everything. We've hit every body part here. If you have two blocks, slide them underneath your thighs. Let your feet fall open. Cover your eyes with something. And for the next minute or two, let's just find complete rest. Take a big breath in. Take a full, complete breath out. Bring your arms up over the top of the head. Give yourself a nice, big, full body stretch. Hug your knees in towards your chest. And in whatever way you can, just come up to a seated position. And we'll just finish seated for a second. Gather the hands to prayer. Bow your head for a second. I love coming full circle in these practices. Thank yourselves for showing up. And be grateful we could move. Lift the head, open the eyes. Namaste. Mission accomplished. See you all Friday. Have a great day.